Today I'm going to be making a start in filling up the polytunnel for the summer. Well, for this growing season. As you know, I've been starting all sorts of wonderful seedlings off at home, and today I'm going to transplant them into my polytunnel beds. So I've got beans and peas and sweet corn, some lettuce and the onion seed I started. Some of them I planted outdoors yesterday, and the rest I'm going to plant in here today and see how the onions get on. As I say, I've not planted onion seed before. Onion sets regularly, but never onion seed, so it's a bit of an experiment for me, that one. So let's get started planting. I've got my boxes of sweet corn that will be going in the beds, and I'm going to plant them next to my beans, quite close, and hoping that the beans will be able to grow up the stalks of the sweet corn. But I'm not sure how well that'll work. Maybe I should have given the sweet corn a bigger head start, because at the moment the beans are about the same size, but there aren't as many of them. I have a couple bean plants already laid out by the beds, but these are how they're doing. They're getting tall and leggy and need to get in the ground. I'd also forgot, I've got a mix of things in this box. I've got some peas in here that didn't fit in the pea tray, and I've also got some young tomato plants. These are Gardener's Delight, and I plant them in here today as well. So tomatoes, lettuce, beans, peas and sweet corn. Oh, I can't wait till harvest time. Delicious. That's the only reason I make all this effort, because I enjoy harvesting. And here's the peas. I'll put them in one of my beds that has the wooden trellisy panels happening. Give them something to climb up. My onion seeds have gone all floppy again. They were all laid over when they first started germinating, and then they got nice and straight. Now they're getting long, they've gone all floppy, so we'll get them in the ground. And I have some strawberries that I've forgotten about as well. So I have some strawberry plants that I've ordered, Mara de Boss. So I'm going to put those in here, hopefully give me a nice early crop this year. There's my lettuce and salad greens. They're about the same age as the ones I'm harvesting at home, but they're more spaced out in the cells, so they'll be easier for transplanting into the ground, and I won't be wrestling them apart too much. One little plug in each planting spot should work very nicely. Before I get started planting, I'll take you down and give you a quick look at the potatoes I planted in here. They're just starting to show themselves as well. Oh, I'm all hot and red in the face. I need to take my cardi off. Where are we? Potatoes. I'm going to turn the camera around. Let's have a look. And here we have the potatoes just starting to push themselves up out of the straw. I'd expect to see one there, but there's nothing. Maybe it'll come up a little bit later, but there's one over there. There are potatoes popping up. We've got here, and next door a little one here, and here. 5 showing themselves really well. Now tomato plants, we've got some. Now these tomato seedlings will benefit from being planted really deep up this stem, because tomato plants will produce lots of new roots out of this stem. I've actually got 5 little plants in this one pot. I'll maybe put 2 in this planting hole. Lost my trowel. Oh, it's up there. So I've digged my planting hole using my trowel generally, and then I will completely fill this with water and wait for that water to soak away. When the water's soaked away, then I'll plant my plant. whatever sort of plant it is, whether I'm planting enormous great big trees or tiny little transplants. I will use the same planting method. Dig the hole, fill it with water and let the water soak away, then plant my plant. That way I know the roots of this plant are going to get a really good drink and an early start. So I'll put my hands across the top of the pot to catch all the soil that might want to fall out. Tip it upside down, give it a pat, and out we come. Now I don't want to plant all of these tomato plants in this one hole. I'm just going to gently tease them apart. Got two there. A single. I'm going to plant these two that are really close together. I'm going to keep both of these for the moment and put them deep in this hole. So as long as I don't put soil above these first two sets of leaves, this tomato is going to be really happy. So I'm just gently holding on to the tomato and I'm going to push compost back in around it. Get rid of that. And very gently pat it, firm it in. And then some more water, but this time I want to be gentle with my water, trickling it in around it. I'm using my hand to stop it splattering everywhere and give it another good drink to settle it in. And I'll do exactly the same planting all of my other plants. Not necessarily as deep, but tomatoes really like this extra depth. Let's go and put these two somewhere. These three. Put you in that pot for a minute so I can carry you around. And you. In you go. We'll go and find you a planting hole. Now my strawberries, in contrast to this little tomato plant, do not want to be buried deep, deep in the soil. These are bare root strawberries that I ordered online. And they've got, I'll bring up close, oop, if I can move me, ow, my knees. Ah, dear. So obviously we want to get all the roots in the soil and get them nice and moist. There's this little green tip just starting to grow here, but all of this little brown woody structure, just as the roots start, we don't want to be putting any of that in the ground, or these will rot off just for fun. So we need to be very cautious when planting strawberries not to get any of this crown in the ground. So everything under there, where my finger is, everything down here we want to plant. And everything above my finger needs to be out of the soil. I'm going to put two strawberries along the edge of this bed. And I'm planning to spread them out around the polytunnel into different planting positions, rather than all in one place. I'm not really sure why, I just like spreading them about. It's nice to wander about looking for the fruit. Oh, so just like my tomato though, fill up my planting hole and wait for that water to soak away. While I'm doing that, I'm going to keep my strawberry roots covered in this wet tissue, stop them drying out. Dig another hole here. Probably put strawberries at the end of each of my beds so I can walk up the main path happily picking lovely ripe strawberries. And we leave that to soak away and then we can plant our strawberry plants. I'll just quickly plant this one that you can't see very well. Fanning out the roots a little bit. Just very gently spreading them around so they're not all in one little clump. Into the hole it goes. Gently, similar to our tomato, we push the soil back in around it. But this time we want to make sure, just hold on to that crown, give it a little gentle tug up and a shake, just to make sure, and then compress. Then press it in, just to make sure we're not burying that crown. again. More water on the top. Make sure that soaks away. Yes. Just check them again. Make sure we haven't buried that crown. Lovely. Strawberry, strawberry, tomato. Wonderful. And now for a quick change of scene, and I'll talk you through a few photographs I also took today. This first photo is a picture of some of my pineapple lily bulbs. They've been in this same spot for several years now, and I don't actually want to move them, so I've decided to take the top layer of compost off and replace it with a nice fresh top dressing. To my delight and surprise, in this bed I also have a couple of gladioli bulbs. My delight being the absolute enormous size of these gladioli bulbs. I don't think I have ever come across gladioli bulbs quite as large as these. And next, in the outdoor garden, those raspberries we planted just after Christmas are starting to show little shoots of green. How exciting! The cherry plum is absolutely covered in little white blossoms, and this forsythia is a mass of golden yellow. Even the rosemary is covered in its little purple blossoms. Spring has definitely sprung. If you've enjoyed today's video, don't forget to click that like button and let me know. Click subscribe and YouTube will make sure you see my next video. So bye for now, and we'll see you next time. And don't forget, whatever you're doing, have fun doing it.